All right, so Brennan Taylor, True School Sports. I'm here with none other than DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. How you doing, DeMarcus?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you inviting me on your show.
Nah, it's great to have you. You know, guys like you who have obviously paid their dues in the sport. You know, always a pleasure to have fighters like yourself on. Could you tell people like what are you up to these days? Like what's Chop Chop been up to?
I'm in camp right now, getting ready for next week, the 25th. I'll be back in Jamaica, fighting on the Contender. They got a TV series over there in Jamaica called the Contender, like we have in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I'm taking on another opponent next week.
Okay. What's that like? You know, fighting in other countries. How's that been?
I had my share of fighting in other countries. Most of them been bad, but I love traveling. I don't mind going to anyone's backyard to fight. It doesn't make a difference. I just want to fight.
Yeah, you kind of realize that too when you just take a quick glance at your box track and you see that you've been fighting in countries like Bolivia and Mexico and Bulgaria. So I'm like, man, Chop's been around the world. This man's truly a world champion.
Yeah, I don't mind traveling.
Yeah. You've also, kind of been a bit of an entrepreneur. You know, you started your own line of boxing shoes, which I've seen a couple of pictures of them. Just tell people about, your boxing shoes and, Corley Sports Apparel and all that stuff.
Yeah, the first fighter to ever come out with his own boxing shoe. My shoe is doing pretty well. I got some shoes down in Florida with Glenn Johnson right now. He
Okay.
got a couple pair that he's selling to other fighters. I just came out with my boxing equipment, my gloves and my headgear. We're working on a tennis shoe probably later on this year in the fall. But it's life after boxing, so I always wanted to do something that's going to help me in my career.
Yeah, and I know a lot of fighters will be very grateful for the boxing shoes. What's that whole process like when you have to start from the ground up and kind of produce your own product?
There's a lot of hard work dealing with manufacturers out the country and getting the shoe exactly the way you want it, a comfort feel, and the look that you're looking for in a shoe. Um, the support around the ankles is very important.
Okay, and what's like the number one thing you would probably say you're trying to accomplish by putting out your own line of boxing shoes?
You broke up. I can't hear you. Say that
Oh, I
again.
said, I said, what's the number one thing you're trying to accomplish the most by putting out your own line of boxing shoes?
Uh, my main objective is to compete with the other top apparel lines out there, which is Nike, Adidas, Ringside, and Title. I feel my shoe is better shoe, also more comfortable than their shoe.
Okay.
My thing on the fighters see and let them try it and go from there.
Okay, well, awesome. Hopefully, I can get myself a pair because I plan on getting back in the boxing gym soon myself. So, well, yeah, I heard you. Now, I was saying
Hey,
like I said, hopefully,
can you
I
hear
can get
me?
myself a pair. Huh?
We went out.
Oh, okay. What I was saying was, can you hear me?
Uh, you're in and out.
Okay. What I was saying was, hopefully, I can get myself a pair of your shoes for when I go back to the boxing gym myself.
All right, sounds good. What size shoe you wear?
I'll wear a 10.5.
What's your shoe size?
10.5.
I didn't do half sizes. I have 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, and up.
Then probably 11. Probably 11.
Say that again.
11. I wear size 11.
Okay.
Uh, but another thing I wanted to ask you, you know, you had 70 professional fights. You've gone to so many different countries. How does somebody stay motivated after having over 70 professional fights?
It don't feel like 70 fights though. The motivation comes with the workout. I love to fight. I love staying in shape. I love keeping my body looking great. And I feel like I'm in my 20s. I don't feel like I'm about to be 42 years old. But
So you would say it's more so about the mindset, more so than the age?
not so much the mindset. It's what you do to your body, how you take care of your body over the years. Your body is like a car, and you drive it, and you get oil changes and tune-ups. And you got to do the right thing with your body in order to keep it running.
Yeah, I've heard Bernard Hopkins talk about that a lot. Like Bernard Hopkins would say, like, even if you have a fight where you get like a quick knockout in the first round, you still have to take care of your body because you had the 8 weeks of camp leading up to the fight anyway. Have you kind of taken that same approach as far as taking care of your body?
Yes, you does. There's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So you have to give your body a chance to rest, but also you still need to go back to the gym and just do little minor touch-ups and workouts.
Okay, so that's good to know. You fought Zab Judah back in the early 2000s, and I've heard some things about between you and Zab about potentially fighting again. You want to talk about that?
Zab is a pussy.
Well, why do you say that?
Cause it's business, man. It makes dollars. It makes sense. I want to do the rematch. Zab, I don't think he want to do the rematch, but eventually I think the fight is going to happen. It makes dollars. It makes sense. We fought in 2003. He won a split decision, and it's only right that we do the rematch. And after I knock him out, we do the rubber match.
Dang, that's crazy. A rematch with Zab Judah.
It's not going to go the distance.
It's
been over a decade. It's been over a decade since me and Zab got a chance to spar after we fought each other. I never got a chance to get in the ring with him again until last year in Vegas working with Mayweather for the Pacquiao fight. And go ahead.
Just continue. I was going to ask you a question, but continue.
From working with Zab last year at Mayweather's gym, I got a chance to see that I'm a better fighter now than I was 10 years ago. I don't know why, but my body is in better condition than it was 10 years ago. It's like they say, you get older with time, you get better with time. I guess I'm better as time go on.
Wow. So you would say you aged like wine instead of milk.
Yeah. But I don't drink wine. Wine is nasty.
Yeah, it's nasty, but I'm just saying that's the analogy everybody uses.
Yeah.
What did you see when you sparred Zab, like you said in Vegas, getting Mayweather ready for the Pacquiao fight? What did you see in Zab when you sparred with him?
He still has good hand speed, but as fighters get older, they don't have the hunger and the desire that they had when they were younger. He don't have it no more. And I have it more now than I did when I was champion.
Wow.
And I actually put it on Zab. I put it on him. For 2 rounds, that was all he gave me was 2 rounds.
Wow. So he had the stamina problems he had when he was younger. Are they worse now, like the stamina problems?
Huh?
Are the stamina problems he had when he was younger, are they kind of worse now that he's older? Because he never had really good stamina, even when he was in his prime.
I can't contest on his stamina because he only gave me 2 rounds.
Oh. Okay.
But after Spawn, I talked to Floyd, and I asked Floyd, can he do a rematch with me and Zab?
And what did he
I
say?
asked Floyd, can he do a rematch? He said, yeah, he'd be interested in promoting the rematch, but he told me to talk to Zab, and I talked to Zab, and Zab said he didn't want to do a rematch. He don't see no need. For what?
So you think he's scared? Sounds kind of like maybe.
He's scared, but I mean, after I talked to him, after I talked to Zab about the rematch, and he said he don't see no need for the rematch. Right then and there, I knew he didn't want to fight me, so I went on social media and I put it out there that Zab don't want to give me a rematch. He afraid of me. He a punk. He a pussy. He a fake ass New Yorker. And I did that on April. It was a Friday. I think it was April 11th. And over the weekend, it went viral. And Zab came in the gym Monday after everybody then got a chance to read it and see what I said about him. He approached me. No words exchanged. It was just he was talking, and I felt threatened by the way he was talking because of this. Go back a decade ago, 2003 altercation before we got a chance to fight each other.
I remember that.
He sucker punched me. You heard about it?
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching it.
Yeah, I mean, he sucker punched me in New Jersey at the Bernard Hopkins press conference. Broke out, and Don King was the promoter for that Bernard Hopkins fight. He said, "What are y'all fighting for? Y'all ain't getting paid. Let's make the fight, and y'all get paid." And that's how me and Zab Judah got a chance to fight each other.
Okay. I mean, hey, I hope that.
So it was one fight, a fifth fight. It was a fifth fight, a boxing match.
Continue.
Say that again.
I was saying continue.
I said it was a fifth fight first. It was a fifth fight, and then it was a boxing match, and then a decade later, another fifth fight broke out. Now it's time to have a boxing match again.
Well, hey, I hope you guys have the fight. It definitely sounds like something that would be of interest. I want to see that fight happen, especially because Zaz's been trying to get back in the ring and he's had all these fights get canceled. Hopefully, he can step up and make this fight happen.
Hopefully, we can get it done. We just need a promoter to do the fight. If Zab is really interested, it makes dollars. It makes sense, and the fans and the public, they want to see the rematch.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Now it's up to Zab if he want to do the rematch.
Yeah, so Zab, if you're watching this, make the fight happen. It makes dollars and makes sense. All promoters out there, step up to the plate, make the fight happen. Hopefully, we get to see that before the end of this year, for sure. All right, DeMarcus. I wanted to ask you a couple of things about just your career. I wanted to start with the Mayweather fight. A very entertaining fight between you and Floyd. One thing I always wanted to know was, Floyd. It's very hard to make Floyd Mayweather fight toe to toe. Just kind of get him to deviate away from him from boxing. How are you able to, in rounds 3 and 4 of that fight, get him to fight toe to toe, and not just that, but hurt him as well?
The game plan for that fight was to make Floyd exchange with me. We know Floyd is not a power, and he don't carry a lot of power with his punches. His punches are accurate, but they're not shots that hurt you. The plan was to get Floyd to exchange with me because I am a stronger fighter than him. Got Floyd the first 4 rounds to exchange, and we heard him, and we were going to go for the knockout. We knew I can't outbox Floyd. That's 100%. There's no one out there that can outbox him. Him is to fight him, and he knows he doesn't carry punching power, so he's very smart and has the skills to outbox anyone. His plan is to hit and not get hit.
Okay. You had a chance to spar him a couple of times. I know sparring and fighting are a lot different, but do you feel like now, as you've been sparring Floyd, that maybe like if hypothetically speaking, if you were to have fight Floyd, that you would be better suited to fight him, just because you're older and you say you feel a lot better?
Yeah, I'll be much better if he can make the weight that we want to fight at, 147.
Okay, so like 154 maybe.
I'll fight him at 140.
140. Okay, 140. All right, makes sense. But yeah, no, that fight to me was always really entertaining because there's very few people that have land, flush on Floyd with that kind of power, and have forced him to fight for not just one round but multiple rounds. I think you, Cotto, and probably Maidana are the only 3 games that come to mind off the top of my head that have been able to really make Floyd fight for an extended period of time.
But he has proved the fact that he can take a punch. He got a chin.
Oh, he's got an underrated chin. Pretty underrated.
Oh, and another thing.
Okay.
If you notice, he made me wear winning boxing gloves. He didn't let me wear Reyes.
Oh yeah. I remember that too because I was watching the fight the other day, and I was like, doesn't Corley usually wear the Cleto Reyes gloves? And I was like, wow, this fight that was kind of weird to me. So what kind of effect did that have on you, punching wise?
We requested Reyes boxing gloves for that fight, but he was the A side. He dictated I gotta wear winning.
Wow. Okay. And
that lets you know that there was worry in my punching power.
but what kind? How did the new gloves affect your punching power? Like, did the gloves feel a certain way to where you couldn't snap your punches or kind of turn them the way you want them, or how did that affect your punches?
No, the winning boxing gloves are made in Japan. They have more padding and they have better padding inside the gloves compared to Reyes and Grant.
Wow. Okay. So he knew that. He probably knew that himself. That's why I told you to wear them.
Of course.
Okay. Wow, man.
That's why he trained in the gloves.
Yeah.
He trained in them.
Wow. You fought a lot of fighters. I knew you fought a lot of guys, but then I went through your resume and I'm like, man, DeMarcus has really fought. Like I had to it reminded me of how many guys you really been in the ring with like top caliber guys. One guy that you've been in there with, Victor Postol. He's fighting Terrence Crawford really soon. Talk to me about your outing of Victor Postol and him as a fighter and how do you think he'll fare against Terrence Crawford?
Fighting Victor, that was a good fight. I mean, I had to make adjustments to his height. He don't carry punching power. Downfall in this fight with Terrence. He can box, but Terrence Crawford also can box. He's a better boxer than Victor. And Terrence also can fight right-handed and southpaw power. So Terrence has better abilities to win this fight by knockout compared to Victor winning on the scorecard.
Yeah, I could see that because when Victor fought Matisse was able to buckle his legs a couple of times in the earlier rounds. And I watched Terrence fight so many times. That guy, when you talk about pure boxing ability, he's about as good as it gets in boxing today. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I just wanted to know that because you fought him, Victor Postol, in 2012, and it's just crazy how many guys you fought.
Yeah.
You fought a lot of.
I think it's gonna be a great fight, though.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's one of those fights too that I know people are complaining about it being on pay-per-view and stuff, but it's one of those fights that I think boxing needs because it's one of those fights where the best is the best in the division. Crawford number one, Crawford and Postol are your number one and number two. It's a unification fight, and they're fighting at their natural weight. It's not like they're fighting at a catchweight or anything like that.
Yeah. I just want one of them 135-pounders out there. That's all.
What 135 pounders would you like?
Number one on the list would be Javier.
Javier Fortuna. Fortuna.
Champion, the WBC champion. I would like to fight him. He's with Golden Boy also.
Okay. What about Rantis Bartholomew?
It doesn't make a difference. It's their handlers and managers that don't want to put their fighter in there with dangerous fighters. They rather take a safer road to get their fighters the fight they need. Instead of fighting a veteran, a former world champion.
Yeah.
Back in the day, fighters fought everyone. All the champions just fought each other. Former champions fought new champions.
Yeah. But it's kind of like boxing today has become so much of a business that they don't want to make those fights happen. They want to kind of just build their fighters up as much as possible and avoid any risk at all.
Yeah, but you never know how good your fighter is unless you put him in the test.
That's true, but I mean, it's not.
That's why Terence Crawford is the way he is. He's been in testing.
Yeah, he's had a lot of good fights. I think he's one of the only really battle-tested guys. I think the only real complaint when it comes to Terence is that he hasn't fought a guy who's a natural 140-pounder yet, except maybe Delorme. But outside of that, the dude's battle-tested. He won his world title in Scotland when he beat Ricky Burns. So the dude is the real deal.
Mhm.
Who's the hardest puncher you ever fought? Because you fought, Provodnikov, Matisse, Delorme, Marcos Maidana, Randall Bailey. I mean, that's a lot of punching power. Who do you think is the hardest puncher you ever fought?
The hardest puncher, all of them punch hard, but the one I've been hit by
Yeah.
is Freddie Hernandez at welterweight.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That punch put me down.
Yeah, Freddie.
That punch put me down, and that let me know that I wasn't a welterweight.
So it was time. It was time to move back down.
He can punch.
When you fought Freddie, it was time to move back down, right? When he hit you with that punch.
Hell yeah, get my ass out that water.
That's funny.
It was too deep.
Yeah. DeMarcus, one thing I wanted to ask you, because this is an interesting topic. I've talked to a couple of fighters about this. I talked to Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe about this because they're always here at the gym where I live. Boxing is a weird sport sometimes because it's the only sport that's not regulated. So boxers don't have a union. Do you think boxers should have a union, and how do you think boxers should go about that if they ever did go that route?
I think it'd be something great for the associations to do for the fighters to create a union, but I don't know how they should go about doing it.
Yeah, because that's a lot of paperwork and stuff. There's a lot of legal stuff they got to work through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's one thing that to me as a fight fan, it kind of breaks my heart when you hear these stories about guys who give their life to the sport, and then the fighters don't have a union to kind of protect them or help them out, like other sports like the NBA or the NFL.
Correct.
Yeah. You fought a lot of great fighters, obviously, like I mentioned earlier. If there was one fighter you could go back in time, or if there's one fighter from any point in boxing history that you could go fight or that you could share the ring with, who would that be and why?
If I can go back and do what?
If you could fight any fighter from any era, who would you have loved to fight or share the ring with?
Wow. Pernell Whitaker.
Ooh, okay.
Marvin Hagler. And Sugar Ray Leonard.
That's a great list. I think the Pernell fight would be really good. If you guys style wise, that'd probably be a really good fight.
I got a chance to spar with Pernell Whitaker for he was getting ready for a rematch. And I also got a chance to work with Sugar Ray Leonard for the Hector Camacho fight.
When you got to spar those guys, like what were they like as far as in the ring?
It was learning experience. When I go to the gym every day, it's like you're in school. You're there to learn. So you're preparing yourself for a test. And every fight is a test. And if you don't properly prepare yourself, you're going to miss something. So working with Ray and Pernell, Frankie Randall, I learned a lot from them guys.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's a lot of great talent that you sparred with. I mean, do you still talk to those guys? Are you in contact with any of those guys to this day, or because I know Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard's a DC guy as well, just like yourself.
Me and Ray, we talked last year in November. He was at the fight in Houston. Chop it up. Pernell Whitaker was at the WBC convention. We got a chance to talk. I haven't seen Frankie Randall in years, but I try to stay in contact with all the fighters.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. I actually never knew that you sparred with those guys. So I learned something today. Um, there's an up and coming fighter, on the Mayweather stable. You probably talked to him because you usually go to the Mayweather gym. I know you've been out there quite a few times. What's your take on Gervonta Davis? Because he's a DC guy. He's coming up, and I personally I like his fighting style. I like watching him fight. But what do you think about Gervonta Davis?
Great young prospect. I think he's going to be world champion. I wish him all the success, and I continue to do good things.
Okay. Yeah. Have you what happened?
Go ahead.
Oh no, not continue. I was continue.
I said he has a great mentor that is helping him with, and sort of has been a legend like Floyd.
Yeah, I think he's in good hands. And Floyd actually, what I noticed too, Floyd kind of gives him a little extra attention. Like he gives all his fighters attention, but I feel like with Gervonta, he's giving him a little bit more extra. He's giving him the extra push because he probably sees something in him that he doesn't see in other fighters. It's almost like a father-son relationship sometimes when I see them talk to each other.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wish I can get the contract with TMT.
With TMT?
I'm pretty sure he can open up some doors.
Is that something?
Yeah, I wish I can get that promotion contract.
Yeah. Is that something you guys have ever talked about or like considered? Like, because I know you sparred him, you seem, from what I've seen at least, to have a somewhat of a good relationship with Floyd. Because he always invites you to camp to spar with him.
Yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. I don't understand and I don't know why we haven't got a chance to sit down and done business-wise promoting me. Why? I talked to him when Mickey Bay, his fighter, was champion, and I asked him, is it possible I can fight Mickey? He told me no, straight out, chop. That's not a good fight for Mickey. Let Mickey make some money first, and then maybe we'll think about fighting you down the road. Fighting him, I mean, I would like to be promoted by TMT also.
Yeah, because that would give you.
Fight somebody else.
Yeah, and that would give you that extra push. You probably get a lot more push as far as exposure and fighting and whatnot.
Correct.
Yeah. So with that said, I pretty much asked you everything I wanted to ask you. Is there a message to the fight fans? Anything you want to tell people out there that you haven't already said?
Pretty much, I'm not done yet. At 135 pounds, I want a shot at the title. Is there anybody out there at 135 pounds that's willing to step in the ring with me? and fight me. I'm open. I'm not tied to no one. I have no promoter. I'm self-managed. The door is open. Just make the phone call. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm here.
All right, so there you have it. DeMarcus Corley wants anybody at 135. DeMarcus, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. You're welcome to come on whenever you want. I enjoy talking to you. I hope that you get a chance to fight Zab or just anybody notable in the top 10.
Yeah, tell Zab, come on, let's make it happen.
All right, make it happen. Make it happen, Zab. Do it for Brooklyn. Don't be like what how DeMarcus said earlier. Don't come off like a fake New Yorker. Be a real New Yorker and make the fight. All right. Well, thank you, DeMarcus.
You're welcome.